What's up guys, it's Weaver, and this is my very first reading log video. I didn't do one for the last month, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that one into this month and just kind of do everything together. It makes sense that way because basically I'm reading a lot of what I was reading last month, so might as well just kind of add it all in one video. I'm gonna try to not give any spoilers, but I also want to be able to talk a little bit about this series, so hopefully I do a good job in kind of, you know, being detailed enough but not too detailed. So anyways, let's get started. So let's start off with some juicy seinen. I have talked about this series previously in my manga haul videos, and that is Ajin. So Ajin is an action thriller seinen, which is one of the best that I have ever read. It definitely has delivered in a lot of aspects that I was hoping it was going to deliver, and it exceeded my expectations in a lot of different ways. So basically it takes this idea of what would happen if somebody was not able to die, and they just the writer goes to the extreme with that. He goes into absolute detail in ways that you wouldn't even imagine. I mean, there's a lot of like science in it, and it makes it all realistic, and it's also what's behind a lot of the mystery too. It's awesome. Like, one of the characters is my favorite character. He's a guy that actually, this is kind of not really spoiler, but the guy is basically this kind of eccentric theorist who is kind of figuring things out with you along the process. So it's just a lot of fun, and the fights are great. Like I mentioned before, the villain is great. The art style is pretty cool too. I really like the art style. It's very unique. I like the way he draws the girls. They always have like these really big eyelashes. It's really interesting. I have not seen an art style like this at all. But yeah, it's an incredible thriller, guys. I highly recommend it. It's very weird and it's just incredible. Highly recommend it. Ajin. All right, let's switch things up with a little bit of harem, and that is Rent-A-Girlfriend. So this series I have heard about a lot as well, and I had extremely low expectations for this, and thank God I gave it a chance because I really love this as a harem. I'm a huge harem reader, so you know, you get thrown a lot of different scenarios and premises with each particular harem, and this one doesn't do anything too crazy, right? Doesn't do anything too crazy, yet it creates this dynamic that is just, I've never seen it in a harem or a romance before, and it's really interesting the way the writer explores that, and with that it creates this juice, this romance juice, you know, that is just, I really like it a lot. The comedy in this is kind of weak, to be honest with you. There's not a lot of comedy, but it's not serious either. It's definitely a rom-com, you know, but the drama is just really good in this. It's fantastic. I really love this. I'm reading scans at this point because I'm just caught up with all the manga. As far as the artwork is pretty good. I mean, honestly it did feel a little bit like generic and basic to me, but it's somehow, I don't even think about it, you know what I mean? It works. I definitely enjoy it, and you know, it's got some decent ecchi in there, not a lot, which is good, you know, because it's I don't like it when it's used as a crutch in a series, you know what I mean? I like it, you know, sprinkled in there and stuff, but it's really awesome. Without giving it too much away, it's basically just, you know, it is what you imagine. It's a guy who rents a girlfriend, you know. Is that escorting? I don't know. Yeah, it's great. It's a great harem. I highly recommend it. If you're a fan of harem, definitely check it out. Awesome. All right, let's get into this next series, which you guys have probably heard me talk about if you have watched my manga haul videos, and that is 7 Deadly Sins. So this is a shonen that, for whatever reason, it just really resonated with my taste. It's not anything crazy, in my opinion, but I just love the art, and I love the ecchi in it, and I just like how fun it is. It's very unique in a lot of ways. One interesting aspect is that the main character, so to speak, is super powerful, but he's not that much more powerful than his team, so to speak, which I think is really cool, because a lot of the times, you know, like say for Dragon Ball Z, which I have compared this to a little bit with Toriyama because of the art style and just kind of the way the story progresses and stuff. It's very you know, Dragon Ball Z, it's like people, the difference between like Tien and Goku and Gohan is just so like, there's such a huge gap in power level that they're essentially become useless. But that's not the case in 7 Deadly Sins, which is awesome. A lot of the times you're just questioning yourself, like, how is Meliodas, the main character, how is he even better than these people? The only way you really know that he's better is that everybody kind of respects him more, and there's a part where they kind of go into power levels and stuff like that, there's a lot of Toriyama stuff in this, which personally I just really like that. I'm not gonna say what exactly because it's spoilerish, but I'm a huge fan of that, and I'm just a huge fan of the art as well, which is very similar to Toriyama. It's like Toriyama, but it's in its own way, and it's just I really like that. It's like simplistic, but also the characters are cool, and just the manga is really good at drawing ecchi and like bodies and stuff, which, you know, which is really interesting in a simplistic art. Let me show you guys. I have a manga ganga, which is supposed to be like an original thing, but this is for sure a reproduction of some sort. I don't care. I bought it anyways, but let me show you guys. Yeah, this is it. As you can see, it's very it's like a simplistic art style, but it's not too simplistic, and you can see that there's like minor details that he adds. This is so weird to go into detail about, but yeah, there's a lot of panels like that where you would think that he used to draw doujinshis and stuff, which I think it was the case for like the Artists of High School of the Dead or whatever it was called. I forgot. Honestly, but yeah, I really liked it a lot. Enough to buy this, so it's a long series to collect for, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend buying it, to be honest with you. I just bought it because I really jived with it, but I know not a lot of people would be, and a lot of people don't, but yeah, awesome series. I highly recommend it. Alright, let's get into the next series here, which is Golden Kamuy. Golden Kamuy, I've talked about this before already. It's like a historical seinen action series. One huge comparison that I made that I think is pretty spot on is it's very Tarantino-like, where it's very violent yet funny, and the characters are really cool. The manga really writes the characters very very good. It's really incredible, and there's also an aspect of cooking in it where it's got really detailed cooking and it's very detailed with its history from that time period, which I don't know what time period it is. I'll put it up on the screen, but it's awesome, and it basically integrates real actual historical accounts into it as well. Not a lot, but enough to where it's like, wow, the manga really put a lot of love into this, and it really shows. It's an awesome series, and I love how it really explores an aspect of Japan that I don't think is really talked about a lot, which is the indigenous side, the Ainu, which is awesome. You know, it's very illuminating on that as well. So if you're into Japan and you're into Tarantino, I think this would be a great read. Definitely check it out. Awesome. Golden Kamuy. Next up, we have Chainsaw Man. So Chainsaw Man is one of those series where I was afraid it was going to be overhyped. I kept hearing about it. You know, people were saying, you know, this is one of the best recent modern series of all time, and it definitely hasn't disappointed. It has definitely delivered on just everything that I miss in a lot of series nowadays. Like, it's so hard for me to stay engaged nowadays. I don't know if it's just my ADHD or I don't know what, but Chainsaw Man keeps me engaged almost all the time, and I just love the way the mangaka draws his characters, the way they're in suits, and he has this very unique style. I know it's supposedly he was inspired by Dorohedoro artists, which is, I can see it, but it's definitely its own style. It does have like a gritty look to it, but it's definitely its own style. And I just like the way the characters look, and it's just a lot of fun. It's really violent, and the characters are so well written, and you just like the characters. There's a lot of they're interesting, which I can't really say about a lot of recent shonens, you know. It's awesome. And one aspect of it, there's ecchi in this as well, but it's interesting the way that ecchi is written into the story. It actually is integrated into the motives of the main character. So it's not that it really matters, but it's just funny the way how integral it is, I guess, to the story. Not super integral, but if you've read it, you know what I mean. You know, that like it's just uncommon. A lot of the times it's just kind of sprinkled in as fan service, and it's just kind of, you know. But with Chainsaw Man, it's funny how the writer just somehow manages to kind of sneak it into the actual motives of of the main character, which I think is funny and it's cool. I like characters like that. It's awesome. But yeah, Chainsaw Man, I'm only about a couple volumes into this, and I'm kind of like savoring a little bit, but I do plan to just binge this eventually. I've been fighting off binging this because I just kind of been doing other things and stuff, trying to catch up on other manga. But yeah, this is a series that I am excited to finish. All right, let's get into another series that I have talked about previously, and that is City, which is a slice of life comedy written by the mangaka of Nichijou. So you may or may have not heard of that anime before, but if you haven't, I would say definitely check that out before you get into this series. There's an anime out to it, which I think it's worth watching the anime over the manga, in my opinion. It's on Funimation app. I definitely recommend it. Great soundtrack. I love the way the mangaka writes his characters. They're so funny and unique. It seems like I say that about every one of these mangakas, but it's just the truth. These characters are just very, I don't know, they're such like likable characters, and they're very quirky in their own way, and that's kind of hard to write because a lot of the times mangakas will try too hard to make the characters different. They'll try too hard. That's like, this is the guy that's like angry all the time, and then, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times it's like, okay, like we get it, they're unique, but in this way they're like people that you would. It's like people you meet in real life. They're unique in this way where it's just, unless you really know them, you're not gonna really understand the little differences in their personalities and stuff. And there's a lot in this as well. And he just kind of captures that aspect of real life really well. And I just like how wholesome and lighthearted this is. It warms up your heart. There's no ecchi or anything in this, which is honestly, it's just refreshing to read stuff like that every now and then. Yeah, it's really funny. I'm a huge fan of comedy and stuff, so I look up to the mangaka a lot. He's so funny, and the comedy style is very Japanese. Like, it's very wacky and very, you know, it's very weird at times, but it's not too weird how sometimes Japanese humor tends to get, so I really like it. But yeah, I'm only a couple volumes into this. I've been reading this slowly, and I'll probably continue to read this slowly as I read other series, just because it's kind of like a little nice thing to kind of, if I'm in a bad mood or something, this will kind of like, you know, it'll kind of cleanse the palate, get me in a happy mood. And yeah, I really like it. Definitely check out Nichijou and try to watch the anime. I definitely think it's worth watching the anime. It's really cool. The voice actors are great. The soundtrack is really, really nice. The animation is very true to the manga, and you just get more out of it. And definitely check it out. Definitely. And once you're done with that, I would say, you know, check out City if you're a fan of that. All right, we saved the best for last. This is better than Ajin. This is better than Golden Kamuy, and this is 100% better than Chainsaw Man. I mean, those series are great, they're fantastic, but nothing can live up to the glory of this last series here, and that is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. This is a very controversial series because the premise of it is essentially this girl bullies this guy here, and she's very, very, like, it's just like straight up bullying, right? Like very verbally abusive and very psychologically abusive, as well as very physical abusive. So the original webcomic that the mangaka wrote was basically written for sadomasochists. So when he made it into a manga, he kind of watered it down essentially, but that is still kind of like, you can see the origins in that, and that's why some people don't really like that. But for a sadomasochist, it's great. But not to say that I am that, but I just like the romance that comes out of that particular dynamic, as you can imagine, where here's this girl that's bullying this guy, and it's just, you slowly kind of, you watch the romance bloom, basically. But it does it in such a way that it's just, it delivers on a lot of stuff that I'm like, I hope this happens or something, and then it ends up happening, and I'm like, yes! It's so satisfying in that way, and it's pretty funny. I mean, the art style is kind of simple, but I really like the way the mangaka writes his characters and the way he writes the scenarios. There's a lot of stuff in here, there's a lot of ecchi in here, but there's a lot of stuff that, like, I'm like, man, I don't ever see other, you know, ecchi mangakas do these type of things. They're not like super raunchy, they're simplistic stuff that is just like, it hit different, you know? It's like really good stuff. And yeah, I have just been really obsessed with this series. I'm already reading the scans because I'm already caught up and I just can't wait. And the anime is really great too. The pacing is a little bit weird, and they do switch scenarios around, probably just to kind of make the episodes more solid and stuff, but generally it's not a huge deal in my opinion. But I definitely do like the manga a little bit better, just in the way it delivers some stuff. But the anime is worth watching. I am both reading the manga and watching the anime, so I really like tsundere characters. Tsundere, I don't know how you say it, which is basically where either in a harem or in just, you know, the main love interest is hiding the fact that they like a specific person, and they hide it by being mean and kind of, you know, insulting and stuff. I don't know why I like that character. Maybe there's something messed up in our brains to like that, but it's amazing that that's a thing in Japan in Japanese anime, because it's such a great, I love that type of character, because that stuff does exist in the real world, right? Anyways, if you're into that type of character, then I think you will really like this series. I think it's not one-to-one to that, it's different because it's just straight up bullying, but it's very juicy. You know, sometimes I like romance where it's just vanilla. I can appreciate, you know, just a regular normal romance, you know, that's fine, but I'm gonna prefer something like this, definitely. I just like interesting premises, right? And this, I'm surprised this has never been done before, and probably because it is controversial and there's a lot of people that hate this as a result. And yeah, I definitely recommend it, but if you're sensitive to this type of stuff, to bullying and stuff, definitely don't. Yeah, anyways, this has definitely been my favorite series this month, and it's just fantastic. I love it a lot. I can't wait to read more of it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this month. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, definitely leave a like. There's a lot more videos coming out. I have an unboxing video as well as a collection video. So if you're into that type of stuff, subscribe, stick around, and stay tuned for that. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for subscribing, guys. It's been a couple of months since I started doing this, and it's just the amount of feedback and love that I've been getting has been really motivating me to keep doing this. And it's been hard trying to find the time to kind of keep making content, but the more I do it, the more I want to commit to it and make better content, etc., etc. So I can't stress enough how grateful I am for all the love that you guys have been giving me. Again, thank you so much, and stay tuned for those videos that are coming up. And hopefully this video is decent enough. It's my very first reading log video. I do kind of want to, you know, try to find a way to make it my own style, just so it's like not repetitive content. You're seeing so many of us doing the same type of content and stuff. But all in all, it's gonna get better next month. I'm gonna kind of get used to talking. I'm still not that used to talking in front of the camera yet. It's still very awkward for me, but yeah, hopefully this video was good enough to where you were able to enjoy it. Let me know what you think about the series that I've been reading. Do you agree or do you disagree? Is there something that you think I should read based off of what I'm reading right now? Definitely let me know, because I have some stuff planned out for this next month, but nothing I'm too really married to at the moment. I do plan to read Beastars, as well as revisit some series that I have put on hold, such as Dorohedoro and Witch Hat Atelier. So yeah, let me know in the comments. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.